Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me on my corner tonight. Or I should say today. It's night where I am, but it might not be night where you are, so I don't know. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Anyway, my name's Kamishra. This is my corner. Thank you guys for joining me. Have you subscribed? If you haven't, tis, subscribe. It's free. And if you feel like it, you can share the video with your friends, and you can turn on all the notifications. Click that little bell and turn on the notifications, so every time I upload, you will be sure to be notified. All right, so once again, this is Kamishra's Corner. So I'm on the corner in my home, but it always sounds like I'm like outside on the corner in the street. So if you hear any cars, if you hear any honking, any sirens, people having conversations over my conversation that I'm talking, that's because, I'm not outside, but I am on my corner by my window. And it sounds like I'm outside when I'm by my window. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I am going to be making cranberry soap. So I'm making some soaps for the fall. And I have measured out all of my oils. And I'm going to be showing you the steps that I go through to make soap swirl. So you're going to be learning how to do a soap swirl today. Okay? All right. So remember, when you're making soap, everything has to be measured out by weight. So I weighed all the oils separately. So I weighed each oil that I put in here. I weighed them separately, put them inside the bowl. And then I did the same thing for my lye. I weighed out the water first, and then I weighed out my lye second. Then I added my lye to the water. Never add water to lye. Always add the lye to the water. Little bit by little bit. Make sure you do that in an open space, because the fumes that comes off of this can knock you out. Anyway, so you can work with, everyone knows these masks now because, COVID and made masks popular. So you can wear your mask. It actually helps. This is one time we're wearing a mask. You shouldn't be saying, no, I don't want a mask. Wear your mask when you're making a soap. It's okay. I don't wear masks because, I know how not to take in any of the fumes that might be coming off. But I also minimize. See, there we go. There's the beeping. What did I tell you? Anyway, I'm sorry. But anyway, I know how to minimize the amount of fumes that are coming up. Just add it little at a time. And then you make sure you're in a, big open area, windows are open, fan blowing, all that good stuff. So everything's measured out. So what I'm going to do right now is the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to get rid of this because this has lye in it. I'm going to put this bowl out of the way and get it out of the way because all of that is stuff that needs to be cleaned. Put my lye to the side, get my stick blender, and I am going to just have shea butter in here. So I'm going to just break up the shea butter with my stick blender because I did not melt it. But you do not need to. You can merely do like I do and break it up using the stick blender. Yep, now I hear conversations outside. And trucks. I don't know if you hear it. Okay, so once your oils are broken up nicely, now what I'm going to do is, if you're going to have like a soap base that's going to be all one color, this is a good time to add the colorant. But because I'm adding 2 colorants, I'm going to add the lye first and then separate the bases and then color each side, because it's going to be like a cranberry color, which I don't really have a cranberry, but I mixed 2 colors that I had together, and I got this color that I thought was pretty cool. So I'm hoping, in the soap it looks like what I want it to look like. So half is going to be that color, and the other half is going to be, of course, white with my titanium dioxide that I have right there. All right, so I'm just gonna, oh, no, not big enough. All right, I'll just use my napkin. Push this to the side. So I'm gonna add my lye water. So you make sure when you are mixing the lye, it's nice and clear after you mix it, okay? And then you add your lye water to your mix, and it's okay to pour it directly in, but a lot of times people like to pour it either down their spatula, down the spoon or something, the shaft of the stick blender, just to keep it from splashing, because you don't want to splash lye all over the place, okay? So there we go. It's New York, you know, so they don't know how to just be patient and wait. The light just changes, and if you're not moving quickly, you're beeping. They're beeping at you. It's ridiculous. Sorry, guys. All right, so that's done. I'm gonna stick blend this again. I'm not gonna blend it too much. Don't over blend too much. Make sure you get the air out the bottom of the stick. You want to blend it enough so that it's emulsified. You don't want the oils and the water, and the lye water to be separating. Okay. And if you're not sure, you can just kind of let it sit for a little bit. And if it starts to separate, then you just give it another stick blend again. But that is good. This looks good. Okay. You can kind of tell because when the oil separates, the oil looks darker. And when it's blended good, the whole batter takes on a bit of a lighter hue, which is cool. All right, so we're going to separate this into two. And then I'm going to use this same, actually, let's not do that, because that does have little bits of lye in it, so let's get a clean one. Let's be responsible here. All right, so we're going to separate it into two. I want it mostly to be this cranberry color, so the bigger portion is going to have the cranberry, and then the smaller portion is going to be some white that we're going to, actually it could be mostly white and cranberry, but I don't. I want it mostly cranberry and a little white. All right, so now what I'm going to do is add white to here, and I already used let's use this one. I already used my spoon for the coloring. Okay, so when you do this, kind of prep everything ahead of time. Try to prep your colors. If you're mixing colors together, if you're not mixing colors together, then just at least have them ready so you can put them in. So white, got my cranberry there, and don't forget to prep the fragrances. I made soap one time and totally forgot to put the fragrance. It was terrible. I was so disappointed because it came out really, really nice. And well, now this oil has I don't know if you can see it, a very dark hue. So you will see it actually looks cranberry in color. And I put way too much fragrance in there. I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't. Oh well, nothing you can do about that now. So what I'm going to do is just add a tad bit more to here because I want this to definitely be fragrance, just a tad bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to blend this, and if you hear the dog barking and you're like, is that a dog? That's Kamisha. I know her. She doesn't do dogs. I don't do dogs. But my daughter bought a dog. And yes, he's barking in the other room. And I should have did the white first. So we're mixing up the fragrance and the colorants. And I have like, it's a little too red actually. I wanted it to look more cranberry-ish-y. So what you cooking, Ajwa? smells good. I'm gonna do a little twerking on the fly because I want a little bit more of this colorant. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of that colorant because I wanted it to be a little more, how can you say, like cranberry-ish looking, I guess. I really don't know how to mix colors, to be honest, but we'll see. Now I'm not going to do too much because, again, I want to do a swirl. And when you're doing a swirl, you really, really, really do not want to. I should have done the white first so it doesn't mix, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is just clean this off with a paper towel. Oops. Oh, wow. Come on. There we go. Clean this off with a paper towel. Get the colorant off. So you do the white so you don't have, you know, the colors mixing and making the white a color that you don't want it to be. You understand? Yeah. So, put that in there. Get one more paper towel. Clean this off. Oh, was I off camera? I'm so sorry if I was. So I'm just cleaning off my stick blender. Trying to do that as quickly as possible. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do a swirl. You can do what they call an in the pot swirl, and you can swirl this in here and kind of give it a little swiggle of an 8 figure, and then kind of let it pour into the mold. You can put it straight in the mold and do it, or you can do layers and then use like a spoon or a stick or something. And you can see the color of the kind of came out in here. It was the colorant of the oil itself. The oil was a very, very dark hue. Alright. So what I'm going to do, okay, put that in there. See, that's a full. Okay, good. Because I am going to have my mold, and I'm going to mix it directly in the mold. So I'm going to pour the soap in, and then I'm going to put the other color. So I'm not sure if this is actually going to look white or not. And then as I'm pouring in, it's going to mix. Whoops, making a mess. So yep, as you pour it in, it will mix. Now you just scrape out the rest. So that's another way you can do it. You can do it like right in the mold, or you can do it, you know, you're mixing in the bowl. So you can, like, I could pour this in here and mix it just a tiny bit and then pour it, and it'll mix together as it goes into the bowl. And there we go again. Cars blasting their music as they're going by my house. And it sounds like I'm outside, even though I'm not. Alright, so we're just scraping out our mold, making sure we don't leave any of this fantastic, wonderful, smelling, luscious, feeling, moisturizing, real soap. Not those detergents and crap. We're talking real soap, buddies. And if you want to know what I'm talking about as far as detergents, like if you get a beauty bar, if it says beauty bar, it usually says beauty bar because it has a whole lot of other stuff in it that is not necessary in order to have a nice bar soap. And usually those things are chemical additives that boost the lather, all kind of stuff. And it usually just, you know, for the purpose of boosting the lather. And that's not the only thing that, you know, a bar might have. So be careful when you're getting beauty bars and say, oh, beauty bar. It's not real soap. And that's why they call it a beauty bar. They cannot call it soap if it's not real soap. If it's called a body wash, it's because it's not real soap. It has detergents in it. Yep. Anyway, enough with that. Let's go back to how am I swirling. So you just, take the rest of the soap, put it on top, and then all you have to do last, you want to bang it down, make sure it doesn't have any air bubbles inside. And then you just texture the top however you want it. So if you want a nice little design, you can. If you want to leave it the way it is, you can. I'm going to give this a little texture to make the top look like it's really cute. I'm going to clean up the sides of the mold. Okay, so I'm taking this. I was mixing my colorant with this stick. So I'm going to use this stick to kind of clean off the sides. If you can see, there's like, let me show you, little bits of soap on the side of the mold. See on this side, you take a stick, it kind of gets that off very nicely. Cleans up the sides. I'm going to bang it down. Alright. Then we're going to texturize the top of this soap. We're going to use our spoon. This is the spoon that I used to mix the lye, so. And now we have ambulances. I tell you. You think I was on the street, but I'm not. I'm just on my corner. My corner's loud. Yes, it's loud sometimes. On a ghetto corner. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of do a cute little design first. So a little a little design first, so it doesn't look like blotches. Instead, it kind of, can you guys see that? Whoops, sorry, you didn't see a thing. Okay, so I just did like figure eights, so the blotches don't look like gigantic blotches. It looks a little like a design on purpose, a little bit. And then I'm going to texture it with my spoon. Turn this over because I'm not really good at doing the other side, so that it'll look at least consistent. I'm working with the same side if I turn it around, and at least the twirls will look a little bit consistent, even though it's actually the other way. It's okay. People will never know. Actually, they will, but that's okay. I was going to give a little thing in the middle, but that's not really turning out right. So I think I'm going to go back to the sides and redefine those swirls and leave it, because when I did the thing in the middle, it didn't look right. Yeah, so let's fix that. Let's fix that back. Okay, wait. Some of the lighter soap is not as hard as darker colored. So it's like, it's not doing the same thing. Oh my Lord. I think I really just, I mess it up. Sometimes when you overdo stuff, you just totally fudge it. But sometimes you don't. Okay, I'm leaving it. It's staying. Alright guys, so that's how you do a nice little swirl. So I will be back in a couple of days to cut it. There we go. Wait. There we go. Thanks for watching guys. Bye.